All right, to the markets. The JSE closing flat this afternoon after an incredible run on Friday, reaching its highest level in 4 years. Gary Booysen from Rand Swiss joins us now. Gary, good afternoon. So the all share hitting this 4-year high figure on Friday. It's been hovering around that level, closing flat, I see. Who would have thought investments would recover while we were in the midst of that COVID-19 spell at the start of the year?
Yeah, certainly, it's been an incredible year for investors, and I think just an incredible year all around. So, markets are always going to be very, very forward-looking. So, as we saw equity prices and most financial instruments coming under a huge amount of pressure in that March, April, May time when there was a lot of uncertainty. But as we started to look through the virus and what the actual impact would be, you started to see financial market assets recovering, and we've had an absolutely stellar November, which has helped to lift the local index, as you say, to those highs. And this is really just on the news of the vaccine and the idea that at some point we're going to move past the coronavirus and that there's a global solution. It's flat today, but I think looking at the currency markets, we're starting just to maybe moderate some of that exuberance that we saw through November.
Gary, got to ask you, it's just a pity that it's not the same with the economy, but tell us a little bit more about this platinum price. It's sky high. It's taking some of the platinum shares up with it. What's behind that very remarkable platinum price we're seeing at the moment?
So I think the good news is that the economy might be in the doldrums at the moment, but stock markets are one of the most accurate leading indicators of economic activity. So as we see the stock markets recovering, hopefully we'll see economic activity picking up behind that. So if we look at the platinum producers, I think the story is quite clear. We've had a lot of supply dropping out of the market in 2020. We expect the platinum market to remain in deficit, and this is as the demand starts to increase. You've got supply contracting, but you've got demand starting to increase, or at least the expectation of demand starting to increase as people start moving around again. The expectation is that if there is a widespread vaccine and people will be buying cars, people will be traveling again, the more aggressive lockdowns that we've seen overseas will let up, and that will certainly have a positive impact on the PGM group metals. So the likes of rhodium, palladium, platinum, all looking a lot higher. As I said, financial markets are already pricing in that action. So a little bit is that's kind of the underlying PGM metals, but a little bit also has to do with a weaker dollar. We've got the dollar index falling which is basically a representation of the dollar against the major currencies, falling to lows last seen in about say May 2018. So the weaker dollar, obviously, if you're pricing platinum, palladium, rhodium in dollars, it's going to make them look a little bit better if the dollar is a little bit weaker.
Yeah, some just fantastic share prices there on Impala Platinum as well, up about 10%. Listen, the oil price here, I'm always told that when you look at the oil price, consider what's happening with the world economy. When that strengthens, there's some good news in terms of the expectation of the economy growing. Big indicator of the global economy. We did lose some ground on the oil price, but generally, again, it's one of those things where we never expected during the midst of COVID-19 to recover at this rate. What do you make of it?
Oh, it's interesting. So just quickly back to your Impala Platinum question. So there's a little bit of financial mechanics going on there. So Impala Platinum announced today that it was going to redeem a convertible bond. So we've actually got hedge funds in the market until the 9th of December, which are being forced to buy back shares, which is helping to buoy that share price. So not really the supply and demand dynamics in that one, but supply and demand definitely coming to play in the oil market. So we've seen OPEC Plus, which obviously includes Russia as well as the standard OPEC countries, agreeing to output cuts. They are going to allow output to increase slightly, but they are going to maintain some production curbs. So that's helping to sort of lift sentiment around the oil market. And the same is true of what I was talking about in the platinum market. If you do see greater mobility, if we see aeroplanes and travel coming back, you're going to see greater demand for oil. And that's why we're seeing oil prices a lot stronger. Again, oil is also a dollar-priced commodity, so a weaker dollar also helping oil prices keep them steady up at about $50 a barrel. I think it's also maybe a little bit of tension as well, just around what these rising kind of tensions between the U.S. and China, with the U.S. also saying that it could potentially sanction some of the Chinese officials. I think that's got the market a little bit nervous, which was putting a bit of pressure on some of the commodities today. But overall, I think we're in a very bullish mood around commodities.
Yep, and that's where we'll leave it. Gary Booysen from Rand Swiss, thanks very much indeed for talking to us. Here's a